Hi, this is Courtney Carroll, and I want to thank you so much for allowing me to speak to this group today, Immigrant Talk, and I want to thank Sophia for allowing me to speak and share my story of being here in Canada. Now, I came to Canada in 1975. That's a long time ago. I'm actually, Canadian by naturalization, but Jamaican by heritage. That's where I was born, and I came here in 1975. Like I said, it was a cold February day, and I remember coming into Pearson Airport at the middle of the night, and the very next day was a blanket of snow outside. So we came here not knowing what to expect, but we came here because my mom had a vision. She wanted to give us something better. She felt that Canada provided a land of opportunity where we could do more with what we had here than we could possibly do back home in Jamaica. And so she brought all four of her kids over and paved a new path for us. So I give a lot of props to her, grateful for her courage and her foresight to do something that had never been done. She came here by herself, only with a grade 7 education, to pave the way for us. And we are now in a position to do more for our families, for our communities, and I'm forever indebted to her for having the vision and the foresight in order to do that. Today, I am a school administrator, I am an author, and I am an entrepreneur. Education has always been the great equalizer for me, and I believe that, as we start to move our lives as immigrants coming to the country, it's important that we take advantage of the system that's here. We go to school, we get our education, and that's what this opportunity coming here has provided me. It gave me a better opportunity to schooling. It gave me better opportunities for work after schooling. And so I'm very grateful for the educational system here in Canada. As I went through school, my confidence grew from grade to grade. And by the time I got through high school, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a graduate of a university. At that point in time, no one in my family had graduated from university. Some of my siblings had dropped out of high school. So I was the first to actually pave that way for my family. And it was quite a responsibility, but one I took on nonetheless because I knew it was important. So coming out of university, I worked for group homes for a while, working with juvenile students and trying to educate them. They were in the system because of misdeeds and errors in their judgment that got them into trouble with the law. After a while, I realized that was not my true calling. I wanted to teach. I wanted to be able to inspire. I wanted to be able to educate. I wanted to be able to impact my community. And so I got into teaching, and within the first 2 years of teaching, I realized that the classroom, although I enjoyed it, although I enjoyed coaching, developing young leaders, I also wanted to do more. And that's why I started looking at administration as the next evolution of what I had to become. And so I pursued the role of principal in the system, and I was able to achieve that. Now, as I was going through my schooling, there were some trials and tribulations that we were going through as a family. See, my mom, back in the peak of the real estate boom in 1988, 87, 88, she decided to purchase real estate. And she purchased it because we had a tragedy in my family with my brother passing. And growing up in Ontario housing, she couldn't see herself staying in that environment. And so she bought ill-advised a property that she could not afford, and we ended up losing it. So bankruptcies and all those things happened with our family. And I was really not in a position to assist. And I felt really bad because my brother had passed. I was the only male in the family. I had my mom and my siblings, my sisters, and there was nothing I could do. I had my debts, my student loans, those were pumped into the house, and eventually we lost everything. So as I went through and I got my teaching degree, I started looking at what can I do differently. See, we grew up not knowing anything about money. And so I got involved in the financial services. I got my life license, my mutual funds, and I started going out trying to teach people the importance of setting themselves up for success, investing in the future, having life insurance. But I found out after a while I was preaching to those who needed to be rescued rather than those who wanted to be, taking care of their finances. And I realized that there's a huge difference. Sometimes we spend our time spinning wheels because we want to rescue a certain population, a certain community, but they're not ready. They don't have the mental mindset for wealth. And that's not where your market is. If you're in business right now, you want to make sure you're going to the people who not need your services, but those who want it and can afford to take it. And so I decided to leave that field, and I used the knowledge from that along with real estate investing and I wrote my first book. It's called The Financial Fitness Blueprint. It was published in 2012. And for me, that was a labor of love. It took me about 3 to 4 years to write it, but it was really something that I wanted to do. It was one of those things on my bucket list just to give back and say, this is what I've done. This is what you could do to elevate your life and do a little bit more for yourself. Once that was done, I started looking at entrepreneurship. As I said, education is a great equalizer, but we all know that the 9 to 5 plan hasn't worked well for many people who are retiring broke in their 60s and early 70s, many of them working long hours in the malls, at Walmart, and so forth. And so I've always believed in profits. I've always believed that profits are better than wages. I love what I do. That's my first priority, to change my school culture, to impact my school community, and educate students to be leaders and transformers in life. But I also believe my second priority, which is to build a wonderful business. And so business has become part of what I do. When I say entrepreneurship, I do it. I'm a direct sales, in the direct sales market right now as a business developer for a wonderful company here in Toronto. And this is what we do. So we're in the health and beauty and the luxury fashion space. But this is what I share with people. Whatever you're doing, make sure your 9 to 5 is just one area. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. And many people have the false notion that their jobs are a security blanket. It's not. Every one of us can relate to people that we know who've been downsized, let go from their jobs. And so it's really important, us as immigrants who come here, understand that, what we want to set ourselves up for success. We want to get our feet planted. We want to build a solid foundation. And then we want to go out there and help as many people as possible in our communities, not just in our specific communities, but people in general understand some basic fundamentals about how to grow their wealth, how to take care of their health, whatever it is you do. And so that's who I am. My name is Courtney Carroll, as I said. I am a school administrator here in Toronto. I am an author, and I am an entrepreneur, believing in multiple streams of income and teaching others how to go after it themselves. If you want to learn more about me, obviously you can reach me. I'm going to tell you my website. My website is gwtcorp.com/design style for you. But more so than anything, whatever dreams and aspirations you have, you can't lose unless you stop. You've been knocked down many times, and I can tell you I've been knocked down many times in my financial life, knocked on the back and lost money. But at the end of the day, if I continue to pursue, if I continue to go after the things I say that are important to me, I can never lose. Winners never quit. And whatever you're doing right now to inspire others, that's the message that you've got to give them. Have a dream, have a vision. Success is simply this: simple habits repeated on a daily basis. Failure is errors in judgment repeated on a daily basis. As long as you are going to stick to your vision, as long as you're going to do those simple activities compounded over time, you will find success. So this is my story. Thank you for listening. And again, it's with great pleasure that I leave this there for you. And again, thank you, Sophia, for having me speak. Take care.